Club football returned this weekend as Chelsea take an early trip to Turf Moor in the English Premier League lunchtime kickoff, with what could be very fiery as Burnley is fighting for points to save the soul of their Premier League stay, while Chelsea are chasing momentum. With both sides knowing fully well that a quick start could decide everything, can Chelsea handle the pressure of an early kickoff to Burnley, or will Burnley turn Turf Moor to a trap? Drop your thoughts down below as I take you through the preview of this game between Burnley versus Chelsea. With team news, with what Enzo Maresca said in his press conference earlier today, my predicted 11 and my honest score prediction. So stick around as I take you through the preview of this game between Burnley versus Chelsea. Going into this game, Chelsea currently sit third in the Premier League standing with 20 points, scoring 21 goals, conceding 11 with goal difference of +10, while Burnley currently sit 17 above the relegation zone with 10 points from 11 games and goal difference of -8. Chelsea are going into this game riding on a very high confidence and also with an attacking intent that could actually be the key for Chelsea to dismantle Burnley at Turf Moor. Looking at this game, Chelsea are going to Turf Moor knowing fully well that Turf Moor is another Stamford Bridge ground for us, as Chelsea has never lost a game at Turf Moor. Chelsea at Turf Moor is 100%. There's no loss at Turf Moor. So invariably, we can actually say that Turf Moor is our second home, as Chelsea going to Turf Moor is a place that we have not lost any game, and that alone is a morale and confidence booster for the players going into this particular encounter in the early kickoff. So the last time Chelsea actually lost to Burnley in the English Premier League was in 2017-2018 league season in the Premier League opener under Antonio Conte at Stamford Bridge. And in that particular game, Chelsea actually saw 2 red, as Gary Cahill and Cesc Fabregas were also red in that particular game, and Chelsea went on to lose to Burnley by 3 goals to 2 at Stamford Bridge. So coming into this particular encounter before the international break, Chelsea are coming from the back of 2 straight wins against Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and at Stamford Bridge against struggling Wolverhampton Wanderers, while Burnley, on the other hand, are coming into this game from 2 straight losses, having lost at home at the Turf Moor to Arsenal by 2 goals to 1 before going away and lost to West Ham United by 3 goals to 2. So it's going to be an interesting match in the early kickoff tomorrow Saturday, as Chelsea will be looking to maintain the momentum and to pick another victory on the road. So having said that, Enzo Maresca had his press conference earlier today, and in that press conference, Enzo Maresca was asked lots of questions, and definitely Chelsea tactical manager talking about Enzo Maresca actually gave some tactical responses, and intelligently he gave some answers to the questions that he was asked. Now, Enzo Maresca was asked about Cole Palmer because during the international break, there was reports that Cole Palmer has returned to training. And so lots of us have been hoping to see Cole Palmer being part of the squad for tomorrow's encounter. But when Enzo Maresca was asked about Cole Palmer, yes, Enzo Maresca's response on Cole Palmer. He was very close. He was back with us almost with the groin, which is very good news. But he has this small problem. Enzo Maresca went on to say, he's probably not available for tomorrow, for sure. Barcelona, for sure. Arsenal, for sure. Unfortunately, he had an accident at home with his toe, but it's nothing important. For sure, he is not back next week. So, Enzo Maresca was asked about Cole Palmer and the groin injury. And the news that came out was not just a good one, because we're all hoping to see Cole Palmer being part of Chelsea game tomorrow against Burnley. But then, the manager in his press conference said that Cole Palmer had a domestic accident. And one thing he actually knows for sure is that Cole Palmer will not be available for the game against Burnley. For sure, he will not be available against Barcelona. And for sure, he will not be available against Arsenal. So invariably, what Enzo Maresca said in that press conference is that Cole Palmer might just be out for another 2 weeks, having sustained that domestic accident at home. And what actually happened to Cole Palmer? Check this out. Cole Palmer stubbed his small toe on a door. That could be quite painful. And Enzo Maresca went on to say, we don't know if it is fractured. The only thing we know, he is not available for this week and next week. And that was just the point I was trying to make. So invariably, Enzo Maresca have ruled out Cole Palmer out for 2 weeks. And he will not be available this week and next week. So he is likely to miss the game against Burnley tomorrow, the lunchtime kickoff. He will miss the game against Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League next week, and is likely to miss the Premier League game against Arsenal next week, Saturday. So, and Enzo Maresca went on to say in a very funny way, I woke up many times in the night to go to the toilet. I hit my head and leg and everything. It can happen. Absolutely, what the manager is actually saying is true. It can definitely happen. Most of the time when we are used to switching off the lights before going to bed, and when you're pressed, you wake up with your eyes full of sleep and you want to locate the toilet. I mean, you at that point in time, you know, your eyes is not fully clear. You can just be hitting your legs on anything, and that is just what the manager is trying to say, that it happened, and absolutely it can happen to anyone. So that was just the accident he said Cole Palmer had on his small toe. So Enzo Maresca went on to say, when he was still asked about Cole Palmer, absolutely, and he was asked, Enzo Maresca on Chelsea coping without Cole Palmer? Absolutely not, with laughter. I don't think that. The team prefer it when Cole is playing. I feel much better with Cole on the pitch, but when he is not, we need to find solution. The team is doing fantastic, really well. For any manager, it is nice when you miss a player, but the team still plays in the way you want it to. Enzo Maresca is quite spot on. Personally, I miss Cole Palmer so much. Cole Palmer is one player that gives me this inner feelings of joy that whenever I see him in Chelsea's starting 11, I am always at ease, knowing fully well that something will definitely come out. And Cole Palmer has proven over time to be one player that Chelsea should rely on. And that is just what the manager is trying to say here. Cole Palmer is definitely being missed, but lots of players, and the manager is very happy when he actually look for solution in order to fill in that gap, and we are getting the result. That is just what is important to us right now. Winning games is just what we actually want at the moment in order to keep the momentum going high. So Enzo Maresca was also asked on other injury issues, and here's what Enzo Maresca said. Moses Caicedo came back last night. I will see him soon. He is good. Bernard Badiashile can be available for tomorrow. Enzo Fernandez and Pedro Neto use the break to recover their energy and their injuries. They are both available for tomorrow. This is good news. News like this actually gladdens me. I mean, each time I hear that Chelsea players are back or there is no injury worries, it's a thing of joy for me. I'm always very happy because I want it to always be that the manager is finding it difficult to make his selection. So, like the manager have rightly pointed out, Moses Caicedo joined the team last night. He's going to meet him today, and definitely he has met him at the time as I'm recording this video. He also talked about Bernard Badiashile, likely to be available for tomorrow's match, and also he went on to talk about who actually did not travel for the international duties with their respective countries, actually took the break to recover from their injuries and will be available for tomorrow's game. And that is quite an interesting one. Good to hear. Good to know that players are fully fit and returning back to fitness. Enzo Maresca on Malo Gusto recent form. And here is what Enzo Maresca said. We said many times that Malo is a main player in the way we want to play. He can play in different positions. We like players that we can be dynamic with. Malo, personally, I consider him a main player for us. So that is Enzo Maresca passing vote of confidence on Malo Gusto. And I cannot see reason why in most games Enzo Maresca prefer to start Malo Gusto ahead of the team captain, talking about Rhys James. But though that might just be his tactical approach to that particular game, because like the manager said, he likes player that is very dynamic. And for sure, Malo Gusto is one player that is actually giving him that which he desires. And one thing as a fan is just what we want to see, that the team is playing very well and winning games. Enzo Maresca was also asked about Estavo William. And here is what Enzo Maresca said regarding Estavo. He is back from international team where he scored 2 goals. He is very happy and we are very happy with him. Whenever I talk about Estavo, there is this calmness that actually comes in my heart. There is this joy I have mentioning the name Estavo William. Seeing a young lad at 18 doing stuff as a player who have actually got into his 23, 24 and 25. Estavo William is a superstar and is very magical. I think as a Chelsea fan, we are blessed to actually have Estavo William. One player that whenever he comes on, he actually gives his best. And the more reason, more often at time, as Chelsea fans, a lot of us often call for Estavo William to start games. But Enzo Maresca, being the manager in charge, knows his tactical approach and what to do at every point in time. So we hope to see in the near future, definitely, that Estavo William will be a starter for us in games. So Enzo Maresca was also asked about Chelsea's second choice goalkeeper, talking about Philip Jorgensen, because during the international break, there was reports that Jorgensen is seeking to leave on loan in order to get more playing time as against the World Cup next year. And this is what Enzo Maresca have to say. I spoke with Philip at the beginning of the season, and I didn't speak with Philip in the last days about that. All the players that don't play a lot, they want more minutes. It's completely normal. Enzo is spot on. It's common to every player. It's common. It's normal. In as much as they are not getting that starting place, they will always want to seek elsewhere, whether on loan. And most especially now that World Cup is just by the corner, they just want to get that regular playing time in order to be part of their country's national team. We can see the same thing with the Brazilian youngster that is currently in Real Madrid, talking about Endrick. Endrick also wants a move, and there is a potential move for Endrick for him to move to Lyon comes January. And also during the summer transfer window, we also saw this Manchester United midfielder talking about Minamino requested that he wants a move on loan in order to get playing time because of the upcoming World Cup. So you see young talents always looking for more playing time. And Enzo Maresca, I've just clarified that. It's a normal thing. So, like I said in my previous video, if you've not watched that, go and watch my previous video. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Like he said, that it's up to Chelsea to decide. But probably his mind is for him to leave and get playing time. But he wouldn't want to force his way out of the club. And that is just how I see it. He just wants to maintain a good relationship. But deep inside, he might just desire to leave. And once the opportunity, if Chelsea gives him that green light, definitely he will want to leave. But Chelsea have actually said they will not sanction any loan move for Philip Jorgensen, as they don't want to actually alter the goalkeeping department currently. So we hope to see how that play out in the near future. That was Enzo Maresca's press conference, which he had earlier today regarding some Chelsea players and the clarification of players that are out injured for the trip to Turf Moor against Burnley. So what Enzo Maresca is actually saying, Bernard Badiashile is back from injury. Cole Palmer remains out and still not yet returned and will be out for 2 more weeks, because what he said is that Cole Palmer for sure is not available tomorrow. For sure it's not available against Barcelona. For sure it's not available against Arsenal Football Club. So we hope to see when Cole Palmer will definitely return. So going into this clash against Burnley tomorrow, notable players that are still out of this particular game: Levi Colwill, who is out with ACL; Cole Palmer, who is out with toe injury; and Dario Esugo, who also remains out. Every other players going into this particular encounter are available for selection, according to Enzo Maresca. So going into this particular game, against Burnley tomorrow. This will be my predicted 11 for tomorrow's encounter. Check this. In goal will be Robert Sanchez. The full back, I'll go with Mark Cucurella in the left back and Rhys James in the right back. The centre back pairing will be none other than Wesley Fofana and Trevor Chalobah. The midfield pivot will be Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. While the three attacking midfield trio, the left wing, I will go with Garnacho. The attacking midfield, the central attacking midfield role, I will go with João Pedro. And the right wing, I will go with Pedro Neto. Up front will be Liam Delap. Now, why did I go with this selection? If we take a look at the centre-back pairing between Trev and West, in our last two games, their partnership, the pairing of Trevor Chalobah and Wesley Fofana have actually been clean sheet. They kept clean sheet in the game against Tottenham Hotspur and also kept a clean sheet in the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So, going into this particular game, the centre-back pairing, I will not touch it. I will still go with Wesley Fofana and Trevor Chalobah, as it looks like there is now a bit of understanding between Trevor Chalobah and Wesley Fofana. Of course, Rhys James, the team captain, will take the right back, while Mark Cucurella, currently one of the best left back in the English Premier League, will retain the left back position. The midfield pivot, talking about Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, remains the best midfield pairing that we have currently in the club. And as such, like the manager said in his press conference, Enzo Fernandez is fully fit to take part in this particular game. Moses Caicedo joined the team last night, but I'm optimistic, very sure that going into this particular game, Moses Caicedo will be available for the game because it's a crucial game, a lunchtime kickoff, and Chelsea actually need all 3 points going into this particular game. Now, the left wing, I will go with Alejandro Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho, the last outing against Wolverhampton Wanderers, actually got 2 assists to his credit. What we saw with Alejandro Garnacho in our last game was a class, and that is just the more reason we brought him to Chelsea Football Club. And like the manager said before his arrival, that he has a plan for Alejandro Garnacho. And if this is what that plan is, Alejandro Garnacho should keep it up, and that will be an excellent one. So he retained his position in the left wing forward. So the right wing, I will go with Pedro Neto. Like the manager also said, that Pedro Neto did not go for was not part of the Portuguese team for the international duty. So he remains in the club, recovered fully well from his injury, and have a very good rest. So as it looks like now, Pedro Neto is fully fit and raring to go. And Pedro Neto is one player that on its good day, because as a Chelsea fan, personally, I want him to always be on his good day. So on his good day, Pedro Neto, with his pace, dribbling ability, and energy, can take on any defenders and get the job done for Chelsea Football Club. And the central attacking midfield, I put João Pedro in that particular position. João Pedro, no doubt, one guy who can also play as a point man and also play that creative role. We have seen him does great stuff in that creative role. And his partnership with Liam Delap, who will be playing up front, might just be that magical key that will unlock the defense line of Burnley tomorrow. So that will be my selected 11 going into that particular game. What will be your own selected 11 and who will make your team? Drop your thoughts down below. Predictions. Going into this particular game, on paper, it looks like Chelsea can just cruise past Burnley. But it's football because we have had 2 weeks of intense rest. So I can't tell how many Burnley players were involved in international duty. That means the Burnley manager, talking about Scott Palmer, have been doing lots of work. It's just like having 2 weeks of 2 weeks of rest with his player and 2 weeks of intense training. So lots of thinking might have gone into this particular game. But Chelsea are going into this game with more confidence, riding on a moral booster, knowing fully well that Turf Moor is our second ground. Because record shows that Chelsea have not lost a game to Burnley at Turf Moor. And as such, I think Chelsea is going to maintain that clean record of playing at Turf Moor. So my prediction going into this particular encounter, I see Chelsea defeating Burnley by 2-0 at Turf Moor. What will be your prediction in that particular encounter? Drop your thoughts down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.